They said the hotel had just reopened after decades. Maybe that's what drew me here, the promise of forgotten stories, of secrets left to gather dust in the silence. The Silver Mist Hotel. Even its name sounded like a whisper from the past. As we pulled up, the fog clung to the valley like a shroud, and the lights of the old building flickered, a weak heartbeat against the encroaching dark. We stepped out of the car, the air thick and heavy with the smell of rain and old wood. The manager, a man named Mr. Dutta, greeted us with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "Welcome, travelers," he said, his voice raspy. "We're still restoring some parts of the hotel. Please enjoy your stay." He handed over our keys, his fingers lingering on the cold metal. As my friends and I headed towards the elevator, I glanced back at the key rack behind the desk. I saw keys for rooms 401, 402, 403, then 405. The slot for 404 was empty. A strange, cold feeling washed over me, but I brushed it off. It was just an old hotel after all. The lobby was grand, but a thick layer of dust dulled its former glory. The chandeliers flickered, casting long, dancing shadows that seemed to twist and writhe. Our footsteps echoed in the vast, empty space, each one followed by a silence that felt heavy, watchful. The only other sound was a large grandfather clock in the corner, its ticking unnaturally loud, like a countdown. When we got to our floor, Kabir pointed down the long, dim hallway. "Weirder," he whispered, his voice barely audible over the clock's relentless ticking. "Room 404 is missing. Shouldn't it come after 403? Tara scoffed, trying to sound brave. "Maybe they skipped it because it's bad luck. You know, like elevators without the 13th floor." She laughed, but it sounded strained. I walked over to the spot where the door should have been. It was just a blank, seamless wall, covered in the same faded floral wallpaper as the rest of the corridor. But something about that wall felt wrong. As I reached out, a flash of lightning from a nearby window illuminated the hall, and for a split second, I swear I saw the faint outline of a door. It was there, and then it was gone. The wall felt cold under my touch, and for a terrifying moment, I imagined it was breathing. Later that night, the storm worsened, and the hotel groaned around us. The clock in the lobby struck midnight, each chime echoing through the floors like a funeral bell. I was just drifting off when Tara sat bolt upright in her bed. "Did anyone else hear that?" she whispered, her eyes wide in the dark. A faint, scratching sound seemed to be coming from the hallway, like whispers caught in static. "It's probably the pipes," Kabir mumbled, pulling his blanket higher. "Go back to sleep." But the sound grew louder, more distinct. It wasn't the pipes. It was a voice, stretched and distorted, echoing as if from a great distance. "Knock, knock, room 404. A shiver ran down my spine. I crept to the door and peered through the peephole. The hallway was empty, but where the blank wall had been, a doorknob was now faintly visible, glowing with a soft, sickly light. "Guys," I whispered, my voice trembling. The wall just moved. We had to see. Armed with our phone flashlights, we crept back into the hallway, my heart hammered against my ribs. It was no illusion. The door was there. A dark, wooden door with a tarnished brass number nailed to its center. 404. It looked as if it had always been there. That door wasn't there before, Kabir said, his voice shaking. We all saw it. It was just a wall. Distorted voices seemed to leak from the cracks around the frame, a chorus of overlapping whispers that made my skin crawl. Tara grabbed my arm. Don't open it, Ria. Let's just go. Please. But I couldn't move. It was like the door was humming, pulling me closer. It's calling, I murmured, mesmerized. Can't you hear it? The air felt alive, electric, as if the hotel itself was holding its breath, waiting for someone to finally answer. My hand moved on its own, turning the cold, brass knob. The door swung open with a low groan, revealing a room that was an exact replica of ours, the same layout, the same furniture. But this one was covered in a thick blanket of dust and cobwebs, frozen in time. A faint, melancholic lullaby drifted from somewhere inside, mingling with the crackle of a static-filled radio. This room, it's like a mirror, Tara breathed, stepping cautiously inside. We looked towards the large, ornate mirror on the far wall. It reflected the room perfectly, but with one chilling difference. No, Kabir said, his voice cracking with fear. Look at the reflection, we're not in it. As he spoke, the reflection in the mirror changed. 3 figures stood there, their faces obscured by shadows. Then, a 4th appeared behind them. The old television in the corner flickered to life, bathing the room in a ghostly blue light. It was showing security footage of the 3 of us entering this very room. Just moments ago, a sibilant whisper filled the air, seeming to come from the walls themselves. Welcome back. Guests never leave. Panic seized us. We turned to run, but the door slammed shut with a deafening boom. The lights flickered violently, plunging us into strobing moments of darkness. Shadows crawled along the walls, elongating and twisting into grotesque shapes. Our screams were swallowed by the cacophony of whispers that now surrounded us. It's recording us, I yelled, pointing at the TV. The footage was changing. It wasn't showing the past anymore. The footage, it's from tomorrow, Kabir cried out, his face pale with terror. Tara let out a piercing scream. We're already dead in the video. The screen showed grainy, distorted images of us, one by one, succumbing to an unseen horror. The clock in the corner began spinning backward, its hands a blur. The faces in the wallpaper seemed to morph and writhe, their painted eyes following our every move. The whisper echoed again, a final, chilling pronouncement. The room remembers every soul it swallowed. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the grand windows of the lobby, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. Mr. Duda stood calmly behind the front desk, polishing a key. A new couple approached, beaming with excitement. Hi! We just booked room 403, the man said. It's our first time here. Mr. Duda offered them that same empty smile. Ah, yes. Welcome to the Silver Mist Hotel. Enjoy your stay." As they walked away, the camera pans past him to the key rack on the wall, hanging in its designated slot, swinging ever so slightly as if touched by an unseen hand, was the key for room 404. Some doors don't open to rooms. They open to endings that never end. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next descent into the dark. See you at midnight.